everybody, welcome back. My name is Sue and I'm a scrap quilter in Southeast Pennsylvania. This video is going to be basically a little work in progress video. I'll show you everything that I'm working on. But first of all, I kind of wanted to share with you, I had a nice day out with some of my friends. I have one friend who tries to get several of us together for show and tell because there are a couple of women in the group who do crafty things. They're not all quilters. In fact, nobody else is a quilter, just me, but they do other things. So every once in a while we get together, we have a nice relaxing lunch or dinner, and then we have show and tell. So I'll take you along on that, and I'll share with you some of the things that we shared at Toby's house. So first of all is Toby, and she brought out some 3-tiered plates that she had made. She saw some videos on YouTube about how to make them, and she said she purchased all of the components for it on YouTube also. And I think she said she made about 4 of them. Some of them were in a box because she's planning to give them as gifts. So she brought one out to show us, and they're all really nice vintage pattern plates that have really pretty floral designs on. And then the other thing that she shared was some textiles from Japan. She recently took a 2-week trip to Japan with her family, and so the textiles she brought back were mostly indigos and just beautiful patterns on, and some of them actually reminded me of the sashiko style stitching that the Japanese do on indigo prints, and they were really nice. I don't know what she plans to do with them, but they all had a hemmed or serged edge around them too, and they were all different sizes. So I thought that was a really nice memento for her to bring home from her trip from Japan. And then second up for show and tell was Sue Dursa, and she makes baskets, and they're beautiful baskets. She has her own Facebook page called Weave It To Me, and so maybe you can check her out on there. She's been teaching basket making for years and years and years. Now the baskets that she shared with us, she told us she did not design these herself. What she did was she goes to a retreat every year in, I believe it's in Stowe, Vermont. Not positive about that, but she's been going to it for 25 years. And so it's sort of like a quilt retreat. I don't think they call theirs a retreat though, but they have different teachers that come every year and they show different techniques. And so she weaves different baskets every year. I remember last year, the ones that she brought for show and tell were all made from willow, and they were stunning. They were so beautiful. She came back and she said, I really want to plant some willow in my yard now, because she really enjoyed working with it, and the baskets were really stunning. I mean, they always are. They are so perfectly done. I mean, there's nothing uneven or wonky about them. They're really tight and sturdy. They're just works of art, all of them. She did bring one this time that she called it a twill pattern. It sort of reminded me actually of the Native Americans basket weaving, but I don't think that that's what it was taught as. And she said that pattern is very difficult because you have to really pay attention. Each time you go around, you really have to concentrate. And it's very, very easy to make a mistake and then not even see that mistake until you're much further up weaving in the basket. That's then when it becomes obvious that you made a mistake, and then you have to take everything back out and fix it. So they're really just beautiful. And Toby has taken a lot of classes from Sue over the years. So Toby herself has a really nice collection of baskets. And Toby's baskets were all made from Sue Dursa's classes. So she's got quite a collection. They look so neat together. They're really nice. And then to finish it up, my friend Sylvia was there. Now Sylvia does pottery and ceramics, but not often. So she didn't have anything in that area to show us. So she did bring something that she's working on, but it's not crafty. It's work though. She brought a bag of weeds because she's been weeding her gardens. She has beautiful gardens. Sylvia runs a hydrangea and peony farm on her property. So she's got lots and lots of gardens in that regard. But then all around her home too, it's completely surrounded by gardens with a wide variety, an assortment of perennials and annuals and all kinds of shrubs and bushes, and it's really spectacular. She has something in bloom, I think, from the very earliest possible time to the very latest time after a killing frost. So that's what she's been working on. We've had a lot of rain lately, and you know how weeds love to grow after they get a little bit of rain. So we all got a big chuckle out of that she brought a bag of weeds, and she even brought along a little spider that was in the bag too. So that was it for my friends with show and tell. And then I showed some of my quilts. I only brought 4 quilts with me because it was raining pretty good and I can comfortably carry 4 at a time. I put them in pillowcases so I can carry 2 at a time in each hand. So I brought ones that I had made last year because we haven't actually been together for show and tell for quite a while. So these were all quilts that they haven't seen yet. So one of the ones I brought was a quilt I made out of men's ties. And one of the quilts I brought was all flying geese. And one was a brown quilt. I wanted to work with some browns last year to try and get that box used up a little bit more. And then the last one that I shared was my Hunter Star quilt that I made with red and black men's shirts, which actually I did share that on this channel. So you did see that before if you've been with me for a little while. So those were the 4 that I brought to share with for show and tell. So even though it was a rainy day, we really enjoyed each other's company, and it's always good, you know, to catch up with people. So I hope you enjoy my little show and tell with you today too. I just wanted to share with you too from this booklet that I got at the Penn Dry Goods Market. This was in our last video. If you can see the dates and all of the information on here. They have a website and an address on here. And also the dates for next year's show are on the back. And it's May 15th and 16th of 2026. And now this quilt that's pictured here is part of a special exhibit that they have. And the special exhibit, the name is Ocean, and it runs from June 6th to August 3rd, 2025. And this is the third year that they have had a special exhibit. I'm not even sure, I would have to look it up, of who actually sponsors this or puts it on. It's an internationally judged show that only stops at one place in the United States. And it's this tiny little town in Pennsylvania at the Schwenkfelder Library and Heritage Center. I don't know how they acquired this, but boy, am I glad that they did, because I've gone to the first two already, and they're amazing. They are really amazing. I can't believe our little town gets an exhibit of that quality that comes here, and it's free. They do ask for donations, but you don't have to. You can just go in and just look at all the quilts. They probably have about, I'd say at least 25, maybe 35 quilts. So it's not like going to like a national quilt show. But these have all been judged internationally, like I said, and most of the makers are from other countries, and they interpret that theme. Last year's theme was called Tribes, and oh, it's just amazing. I don't know if you can find pictures online or not. Some of the quilts that I saw in that show, I think there were maybe 2 of them that were by American quilters. And I saw later on the quilt show with Alex Anderson, I saw that she called them out because they had, after this exhibit was over, those quilts then got put into other shows across the United States. And so Alex Anderson had seen some, and she put them up on her show. And they really deserve to be seen. They were really nice. So I'm excited to see that. So that begins on June 6th here. And I'll see if I can share some of that with you then. Now, I just kind of wanted to catch you up on just some of the other things that are just works in progress for me. Hi, Ollie. Ollie came in here. Hi, Ollie. So I was going to take apart some men's shirts to make the backing of a quilt. And so, I started doing that. Come here. Come here. Sorry for that interruption. Okay, where was I? I know I was talking about cutting up some of the shirts that I have. My idea was to make 10-inch squares and then just sew them together in a big patchwork for the backs of my quilts. I started doing that. I was going to, I was thinking about maybe curating them by color so that I would have one that's mostly blues or mostly greens, you know, and so forth. So I kind of looked to see what I had. So I dug out some neutrals actually, because I thought that's probably the easiest. I could probably use this with just a variety of quilts. So I have, this is all I have done so far. I have clips on them when I get a group of 10, so that it's easy for me just to count like very quickly how many I have. So this pile here, I have 58 on this pile so far. And here is another little stack that I still have to work with. And when you work with shirts, you know, you're not working with yardage. So, you know, you've got these curved bits. Nothing is really square and even like, you know, a fat quarter would be, or yardage. So to get a 10-inch square out of this, I would probably have to cut like in this area down here. because it's the widest. You can see where it's the widest there to get the 10 inches. So I'm going to have some leftovers, you know, after I get my 10-inch square, and it's going to be the rounded part up here. So if it's a small enough piece, I will then just immediately try and cut it down into a 2.5-inch square. So that's what all these came from. These were the leftover cutoffs from this big pile. And then if I can get something smaller than a 2.5-inch, I will get some 1.5-inch squares, and that's what all of these are here, all these neutrals in here. They've all come from cutting these big 10-inch squares. And if I have anything larger than that left over, for now, I'm just folding them back up and putting them on a pile, and just kind of putting them back in the box. Because, I mean, maybe I can still get an 8 or 9-inch square or a 6-inch square or whatever. There's still some good usable pieces in there, and I just don't know yet what my plan is for that. So that's what I'm working on now with the men's shirts. I might continue on after I get as much as I need. I'm thinking because they're 10 inches, they're going to finish at 9.5 inches. So I might do, I don't know, I'm either going to do 9 across by 9 down, or maybe 10 across by 10 down. I'm not sure yet. Maybe I'll just see how many I can get out of this, because that'll give me plenty for the back of a quilt, with some left over, you know, to cut off once I need to trim the quilt. So it does take a little bit of extra time. Everything needs to be pressed and ironed, and the edges all straightened up, you know, and trimmed before I work with it. So I've just been keeping this out and cutting a few here and there as I go along. So that's one work in progress. My next work in progress, something that's been keeping my hands busy, is I've been working on my cathedral window blocks. I think the last time I shared these, I think I had 6 of these finished. This is actually 2 of these blocks, and then when they're joined together, then it creates more spaces here to put 3 more squares. And so I finished these, I just didn't join these yet, obviously. And so now I have 7 of these bigger ones finished, and this will be number 8 here once I join these together. So I just kind of pick these up here and there. I'm not in a hurry to finish these, so it'll get done when it gets done, but it's a work in progress. And my last works in progress is this one. This is the one that I began by using a jelly roll that's been sitting around for a long time, and I joined them together with some embroidered pieces that I've been holding on to for years. I just kind of collect these things, you know, once in a while as I see them, and so I put those blocks together with some embroidery. And the border that I made, it needed to be wider. It didn't really need to be longer, but it needed to be wider. So I made this border that is like a ribbon kind of wrapped around a pink pole. So I got those borders put on just about an hour or so ago, actually. So that's what I was working on today. And now I think I'm just going to put like maybe a little 3-inch border around the entire thing. And I was looking at, I mean, I have plenty of this green. I could use this green to go around the whole thing, but I kind of feel like I have a lot of that green in here and I wanted something else. I like the green, I just thought it was, it's just too much of it. So I found this blue. It's an old blue. This is actually a Ginny Beyer print. So I don't know how old that is. It's kind of the same sort of shade as the green. So I think I might put that on. I have to measure to see if I can get a 3-inch border to go around the whole thing. I haven't done the math yet. I actually just pulled this out just to preview it and see if I liked it a lot or not. Because there is blue in here with some of the embroidered pieces. So I thought if I put a little border on it, that might be enough to kind of pull out some of the blues that are in here too. This one, I really, this one's kind of been sitting around for a whole week without me working on it at all. So I was actually happy to get these two borders on the two sides today. Because now I kind of feel like I'm almost, I almost have the top done. And that's always a good feeling, because then I know the next step will be basting, and then I can start on another quilt. So that's it for my works in progress, except for, you know, I always have something that I'm working on with hand quilting, and I have that downstairs. I do my hand quilting at my kitchen table, and so I didn't bring that upstairs, but I'm making good progress on it. And the one I'm hand quilting now, if you've seen some of my past videos, it has 4 really beautiful applique blocks in the very center. And then I put some of my crocheted edging around that, and I put some embroidery on it. And then it is surrounded by some red and black and gray hourglass units. And then just a few more borders. So I'm really doing pretty good on that one. I probably still have another, I don't know. It depends if my cat lets me quilt a lot in the morning. Sometimes he doesn't let me quilt that much. But maybe another week or so on it. And then that one will be wrapped up. So that's it for my works in progress for this week. During my visit at Toby's house for our show and tell night, she brought this lovely piece out, and she gave it to me. She doesn't really do any quilting, but she saw this along her travels somewhere at some point, and she picked it up with me in mind. And let's see if I can show you the whole thing here. I believe this layout is called Boston Commons. And these pink fabrics on here are really nice. They're in really good shape. Actually, all the colors are in really good shape, but some of the white fabrics in here are just very, very thin. There are a few where the seams are starting to fail. Some of the other white fabrics in here are fine. Not all the white fabrics are the same. So some of them seem very, very thin, and others are okay. So it's a pretty good sized quilt top. So I don't know what I'll do with it. I'll have to think about this one for a little bit. And I really have so many other things going on right now that I'm just going to set this one aside for now, because there's no hurry for me to do anything with it. And I will have to think about replacing some of these whites that are in here. I think I will actually replace some instead of just trying to repair them, just because some of the fabric is, I mean, it's almost like gauze. It's almost, you really can see through it. So, but overall, it's in pretty good shape. And also all of these setting triangles on the edges, they're all on the straight of grain on the outside edge, which is nice too. So that one's really pretty. It's really colorful. So that one was in the bag, and she gave me one other one too. That's much smaller. and much newer. This one's not old at all. So you can see it's not very big, but it looks really nice. It looks really well done. There's a price on. I think she said she got it at a yard sale. It was $3, and that's definitely $3 worth of fabric here. So it was a good deal. So my first thought is to just kind of put something around the border that's maybe a little bit more eye-catching, like you know, like flying geese or something, or half square triangles, or square and a square sort of design. Something just to make it a little bit more lively. But the fabrics on this are newer and they're in really good shape. And the other thing I was thinking with this one too, this one I might actually pass this along as a charity quilt at some point, because it's not that big. So if I build on it for a little bit and, you know, make it a little bit larger, that'll be good for a charity quilt. And I know Toby won't mind. So it'll end up at, in a good place, hopefully. One last thing before I say goodbye is I wanted to talk really quickly about the quilt that's hanging behind me on the door here. I usually hang a quilt there for each of my videos, and because I didn't have a new finish this time, I kind of went looking to see, you know, what I could put up there. And I had in mind that I would look for, I have a really old baby quilt that my great aunt made me, and the date that's on there is 1948, and so I thought I would hang that up, but while I was pulling that off of my quilt ladder, I have one quilt ladder and I have several quilts on it, so while I was pulling that off, another one came off with it, and I opened it up and it's the one that's behind me, and I was really surprised. I made this quilt ages ago. I mean, it's probably, oh gosh, at least 15 years old, I'll bet. Yeah, maybe around 15. But I made it because, you know, I saw a picture somewhere, who knows where at that point, where somebody used stripes in their quilt really effectively. It really caught my eye. And so I had some old fabric, the striped fabric. That was another gift from my friend Toby. Her mother used to be a quilter, and so Toby gifted me some fabric that her mother had when she stopped quilting. So the striped fabric in this quilt is from her mother. And so I thought that I would, you know, use it and make the Dresden plate pattern. So I obviously did. And when I got done with this, I hated it. I really hated it. So it's not finished. It's still a quilt top, and I completely forgot about it. I had no idea that it was sitting on my quilt ladder underneath other quilts all this time. So here's a blast from the past. So now when I got this out and I'm looking at it again, it's like, oh, it's not so bad. Uh-oh, it's not so bad. So I guess I've just kind of, you know, our taste always changes and evolves over time. You know, fads come and go and different things catch your eye, you know, at different times. And so now I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, well, maybe, I don't know, maybe I should finish it. So tell me what you think. Do you think I should finish quilting that one? Or should that just be a charity quilt? Because I think as a charity quilt too, I think it would be kind of stunning actually as a charity quilt. And I think that whoever got that would really like it. But I haven't decided whether I want to keep it or not. I think I might actually just let it hang up there for a couple of days and live with it for a little while before I make a final decision on it. So with that, I will say goodbye to everybody, and thank you once again for joining me here, and I'll see you next time. Bye.